Do you have trouble understanding fast, natural speech? The problem might be reductions, which are one of the keys to understanding natives and sounding more like one. Make sure that you watch until the end of this lesson because I'm going to give you ways that you can actually apply what you will learn in this lesson to improve your own English. There are two main things which make it difficult to understand fast natural speech. One is the connections between words, often called linking. The second thing is reductions. Reductions are a big, important, and common part of natural speech, and they help to create the rhythm of English. But what exactly is a reduction? A reduction is when you either remove a sound from a word or when a sound in a word changes. For example, to usually is pronounced ta, and is usually pronounced n, just an n sound, and him is often pronounced im or so the h will disappear and the vowel might change. In this lesson, we're going to focus mostly on the schwa sound because that is one of the most common reductions. First, I want you to say this sentence. It doesn't matter if your pronunciation is good or bad, just say the sentence out loud and then I will say the sentence so that you can compare. So go ahead and say this sentence out loud. Okay, now listen to how I say it. What do you want to do today? What do you want to do today? Now you'll notice that I actually said that quite different than what you would expect. In this sentence, we have wanna, which is a reduction of want and to combined. The T is disappearing, which is a connection rule, but notice we keep the from t, wanna. We also don't say today. We usually say today. So the to in today is ta. Our next example, again, go ahead and say this sentence. Now listen to how I say it. I'm gonna see him tonight. I'm gonna see him tonight. Here, going to has a special reduction to gonna. So going turns into gun, and again, we keep that from ta, we connect, and we have na, gonna. You'll also commonly hear people say, I'm gonna see, which is a little more informal, as well as I'ma see, which is very informal. Also notice in this sentence that him is being reduced to just im. The H is disappearing. We also have a connection, see yim, yim sounds sort of like a small little y or a y sound, see yim. In addition, we have tonight, not tonight, tonight. So we have the t, just like with the preposition to, but we're also changing the T to a D in American English, but that's more about connection rules, so we'll see more about that later. You were probably taught that wanna and gonna are informal, and they can be kind of informal, but they're more just a natural part of how we speak. It also depends on the situation, but wanna and gonna are the most common. The articles a and the also usually reduce to the schwa sound. For example, that's a good idea, that's a, or the apple is red, the apple, the apple. Note here, you were probably taught that if you have the word the, and then you have a vowel sound, you're supposed to say the apple is red. That is an older rule which is disappearing. It is not required, at least in American English, it is not required to say that. Sometimes we will naturally say it because it is still part of the language, but it is perfectly acceptable as long as you speak clearly to say a schwa sound with the and then a vowel sound. The apple, the earth, the easy way, the easy. The word you also often reduces to a schwa sound with a y before it. This is especially common in questions. I don't know if you caught it or noticed this, but when I said, what do you want to do today? What do you wanna? So do as a helping verb, not as a main verb, here it's making the question, usually becomes duh. You, which is just a pronoun, usually becomes ya. So we get da ya. Reductions with the word you can be more informal, so this is a point you might want to be careful with, but this is usually more extreme reductions, like instead of saying, what are you doing? We can say, whatcha. That is more informal. Now, although there are some reductions that can be informal, reductions themselves are not about formality. They're just part of speaking naturally, whether that's in formal speech or in informal speech. If you decide to enunciate or emphasize a word, then it is more likely that you will use the full pronunciation. And now it's time for a bonus reduction that uses the schwa. This is an advanced tip, and it deals with modal verbs plus have done, which would be the past tense of the modal. For example, would have done, could have done, should have done, might have done, etc. In this case, instead of saying have done, you can reduce have to woulda done, coulda done, shoulda done, mighta done. For example, I woulda done it if blah blah blah. Okay, so how do you apply this to your own English? There are two main ways. The first way is pronunciation analysis, and I have many videos on this channel on exactly that topic. The second way is shadowing, and these two actually work really well when you combine them together. I'm going to teach you how to do shadowing step by step a little bit later in this course. Were there any reductions here that you were surprised about? Let us know in the comments. If this lesson was useful, subscribe for more. You can continue with the pronunciation course right here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.